The UFC 324 main event is an absolute disgrace to the sport, and everybody involved should be embarrassed. Headlining the first ever card on Paramount Plus is going to be Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for the interim lightweight championship. What the hell? This is, of course, off the back of Ilia Topuria stepping away from the sport for a bit to deal with the family matter, so he didn't vacate the title, but he won't be fighting for at least the first quarter of 2026, which meant the UFC needed to keep the lightweight division going, so they have decided to book Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett, arguably the most undeserving title fight for both of these dudes in UFC history. I mean, look at Paddy Pimblett. His last 3 wins are versus Michael Chandler, Bobby Green, and Tony Ferguson, and he's somehow getting a title shot. It actually makes zero sense. His resume completely sucks. I mean, again, Tony Ferguson and Bobby Green are wins in his last 3 fights. That's absolutely ridiculous, and for anybody fighting for a title, that would look like complete insanity. And it's being justified for Paddy Pimblett because he's somewhat of a star and the UFC wants to push him. It's completely unfair. It's completely stupid. His last win was Michael Chandler. That's a joke. And he's somehow fighting for a title. This is absolutely stupid. And I understand why people are pissed off. Don't even get me started with Justin Gaethje getting involved here. I mean, it almost makes even less sense than Paddy. His last win was against Rafael Fiziev, who came off the couch on about a week's notice. I don't know how Gaethje got involved in this title mix. Threatening to retire is ridiculous. We honestly don't really need him at the top of lightweight anymore, if we're being honest. So I don't know why the UFC felt so pressured into giving him a shot, especially when Arman Tsarukyan is waiting in the wings, the #1 contender at lightweight. The true #1 contender is the only one not involved in the title fight. Dana White is still pissed off at him for missing weight against Islam Makhachev, and I get it. Obviously, that was stupid from him, but how long are you going to punish the dude? I mean, we get it. He screwed up. He made a mistake, but he's obviously the #1 contender at lightweight, and the fact that he's not in this title picture is stupid. And this stupid main event is honestly overshadowing a pretty good card. I mean, Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. Some people were saying that this should be the main event, like Ariel Helwani. I mean, no. Obviously, this isn't the main event. Nobody really gives a shit about women's MMA, which is why it's not headlining the card. I mean, it's pretty obvious, pretty self-explanatory. I think it's a pretty interesting fight, and it's a pretty big fight in terms of legacy and history in women's MMA, but at the end of the day, nobody really gives a shit. But there's also other fun fights on this card, like Sonya Dong versus Sean O'Malley, Gene Silva versus Arnold Allen, Umar Nurmagomedov versus Davidson Figueiredo. There's a lot to like here. But that main event is absolutely dreadful, absolutely pathetic. Paddy versus Gaethje for an interim belt. I cannot believe they've gone this route. It's so stupid. I mean, if Gaethje wins, you're going to have Gaethje versus Topuria. Topuria's going to knock him out in like 2 minutes. I promise you. Gaethje's way too sloppy on the feet, and Topuria will crack him and finish him early. And then you have Paddy, which, okay, I get it. Him and Ilia have some beef. They have history, so it's a sellable fight, and it's probably a pretty big fight. Paddy winning wouldn't be the worst case of scenarios, but the fact that we're just giving people title shots because of names is stupid, because look at what Paddy's wins are. They're absolutely pathetic if you want to talk about a title, and if we start allowing people to do this, then it's just going to become common for dudes with somewhat of a name to just get pushed for no absolute reason. When you have a hard-working, hungry contender like Arman, who's beaten dudes, finished dudes, and not getting a shot, the belt's losing all its credibility, which is definitely a problem you do not want to have. Gaethje Pimblett, honestly, as a fight, it honestly will probably be pretty fun, but in terms of matchmaking, it's absolutely brutal. They dropped the ball massively. Thank you all for watching this video, and let me know if you guys agree with me in the comments. We have UFC 323 coming up this week, so be sure to check out the channel for a ton of content. A lot of fun fights to talk about on this card and to close out 2025, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'll see you in the next one.